that you are tuned in. So we're about to get in the segment we call Your Chef, Your Health, and Chef Shingi is in the building.
Everywhere I go.
Everywhere we go.
Everywhere.
24/7, 365. Star FM. Sounding good all the time.
Right, yes, we are Star FM, sounding good all the time. It is your morning galaxy, your mid-morning cruise into the stars, into the galaxy, and my name is DJ Eve, the queen of the week, and for what, the Wonder Woman Chichi. Welcome to Your Chef, Your Health, recipes with a focus on nutrition, and with our celebrity chef. His name is Chef Shingi. He's an Ultimate Bride Master South Africa participant, an entrepreneur who operates a business called Outdoor Kitchen Chef. That's OK Chef ZW across all social media platforms. Good morning.
What's up, Eve? How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome, eh?
You're awesome. We're getting into the long weekend, so definitely.
Hey, Tara Kosha, I'm so looking forward to this one because it's a long weekend and there's going to be lots of eating, lots of food. I hope there's lots of cooking too.
You always look forward to the food. It has to be the food. Today we're talking about maximizing flavor, your herb.
Yeah, and this is the last part of a four-part series.
All right.
Where we started with the most important, what I think is the most important elements to maximizing flavor in the kitchen. And what we've seen through the journey is that, there's so much to unfold in the different bits and pieces. If you want me to recap, the first thing we talked about was fat, okay?
Yeah.
The second thing we've touched on was salt. And then last week we did a bit of some acid. And today we're talking about herbs and spices. And I think this is the last bit of that thing that you need. We can get more technical and in fact really technical on this chapter. I think you can even create a 4-part series on this part of the conversation alone. But yeah, we're gonna touch on just a little bit because spice unongozothi kana usina kuisa spice it's so yeah, we're gonna sort of get into some of what I think are the crucial elements of creating a spicy life in the kitchen. And spice doesn't mean kubava, guys. Cinema spice. Special type or whatever. But no, that's not the case, guys. I think spice is a world of different aromas, different flavors, fragrances, a lot of different elements that spices can be sort of conversed upon. And we're gonna start. Gosh, it's almost like I don't know where to start because there's so much to talk about. But I think let's start with the few spices that you want to keep in your kitchen, okay? And I think these are the most important ones. Okay, salt is a spice, but we've touched on this topic alone. And then tatati susu pepper, guys. Kitchen makomsina pepper. Just chirungu kitchen yeningekadakwa.
Yep, it's a must-have.
Let's have pepper, black pepper, white pepper. Black pepper more for your red meats, your steaks and whatnot, and then your white pepper leans towards your poultry. That's chicken, pork, and sometimes even fish. You can use a bit of some white pepper on some fish. And yeah, those two, Chete, just those two, we start there. And then we move right on to my favorites, guys. Coriander. Yo, I love that spice.
It's a must-have, that one as well.
And this thing actually is an evolution between a herb and a spice. Okay, so I grow a lot of coriander myself.
All right.
And I make a sauce with the green elements, which is the herb part of the coriander.
Okay.
And then if you let it grow long enough, it turns into flowers, and those flowers in turn into seeds, and those seeds are such a beautiful spice. And if you want to resonate to what type of a spice it tastes like or how you want me to identify it, let me sort of play some nostalgia in the listener's head. That biltong taste. We all know the biltong taste.
Yeah.
All right. It's owing to coriander, guys. Bora so kanyama ke biltong ndo coriander, and you can only imagine how much depth of flavor it adds into your meat. You don't want to miss out on having some coriander in your pantry. And so guys, know this is my favorite for a reason. It's because it's never running out in the kitchen, and you can find it almost anywhere. You know, even if you go kumbare chago no kuna kwana coriander chitengeswa kune side section rema spice area. And yeah, you need this. You know, it's useful for pickling, it's useful for meat dishes, particularly steak as well.
Oh yes.
You can't miss out on it. And I tell you one thing that you can actually do with coriander to give it a little bit of more depth and some extra flavor is that you take those dry seeds, and then you put them in a pan, medium heat, okay, for about 2 to 3 minutes.
All right.
And just watch them sort of turn into a sort of deeper brown color, and you know, sort of explode in flavor. You know, like
yes,
what
and let the
happens is
flavor
that
bless the kitchen.
that kitchen just turns into a ball of aroma. And then what you'll do afterwards is you'll just take them out of the pan, crush them, and sort of turn them into, you know, a powdery spice. It doesn't have to be fine, and you can sprinkle this on top of your steaks this Easter, guys. Make sure you stand apart.
Instead, you go find salt more. Have some coriander in the pocket.
Have some coriander in the pocket. It's something different, And the next thing, guys, paprika. Paprika is such a blessing to this earth because it's that like chili that's not chili. In fact, it's not chili at all.
No,
right?
it's not.
But it looks like it. And I think the beauty of it is that, you know, this normally it's dried and it's ground, and it's got such a sweet sort of taste if you have it fresh. And this thing is so beautiful because what it does is, if you know how to use it, and I'm going to teach you now, is you will turn all your meat dishes, okay, even your veggie dishes, into like that caramel gold. You know, like kana uchida ku caramelizer nyama, kana ma veggie for that matter.
Yeah.
Paprika is the thing. Okay, so what I usually do is that I mix some with some salt, and I keep it and store it away. So I've got like a salt paprika. That's, you know, a homemade spice that I'll use to just sort of turn, you know, my meat into a deeper sort of browner color. If I'm gonna grill it, if I'm gonna even just pan fry it, paprika is the one. Paprika is the go-to. So just those two alone, paprika, coriander. Now to notice ganzire spicy and utega, guys, but Easter panabaga. Homemade.
Your DIY.
DIY.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know, I've just touched on this paprika salt thing. You have to have paprika salt in your kitchen, okay? And then if you're a sweet person, you want to have a cinnamon and sugar mix in your kitchen.
Okay.
So cinnamon has got that sort of earthy flavor, that sweet nutty vibe that you can get, and you can get out of your sugar too. So what I do is when I make my pancakes, I've got a mix of cinnamon and sugar chilling there on the side. It's a bit of like a half and half thing. To be honest, I can't tell anymore because I've just sort of made it off the bat, and it's been so long. But I tell you, I think you won't go wrong if you have a quarter part of your cinnamon, your ground cinnamon, okay, and then to 3/4 parts of any sugar. It could be brown sugar, it could be white sugar, whatever you'd like to keep in your pantry, and you mix the stuff together. Tell you what, even some tea, so that you know, Buddha kama flavor, so it is my flavor tea.
It won't make sense. They don't make sense.
And I actually hate flavor tea. I don't mean to like. Gosh, I hate flavored tea because you can taste that it's been on the shelf for like ever. I don't know if that's a thing, but with this cinnamon and sugar thing, you can put in your tea and it just tastes fresh, nutty, earthy, and it's such a vibe, guys. You don't want to miss out on that. Okay, so we've got 2 spices away now. Now we've got a finishing spice. You see, this one works on your chicken.
Okay.
Thyme, okay? Fresh or dried thyme, okay? You just want to sort of take some of those petals or the leaves off of the sprigs, right? Then mix it with some salt and get like an orange, okay? Get an orange, and then what you want to do is you want to sort of zest the orange and then mix it with your salt and your thyme, okay? Then you've got the juice of the orange as well. Just sort of squeeze it a little bit and make it a bit of a pasty mix, Okay, then you want to put this in the oven and put on low heat, let it dry out. Okay, and then when you take it out of there, guys, you've got this beautiful, fresh, zesty, flavorful vibe that goes in all of your poultry. You want to put this on your fish, you want to put this on your chicken, you want to put this on your pork, and I tell you, you will thank me later. And this is something you'll never get in the supermarket. Okay, so this has also got that element of, you know, your own touch. And kana unaoya kumba kwako kaone ngwachizota kwekwe kunobika kama ka chicken kakazisko kasina munhu achakagona because
no pone ngautoka yomba kwako titiro kwaka chicken kai. Yeah.
So I think, yeah, that's you know, the beauty of you know, making your own homemade spices, because you know, you are making food for yourself, for your loved ones, for you and yours, so you kind of know exactly what their palate is about and, you know, who you're cooking for. So one day you can use this spice, the next day you can use that spice, but there's lots and lots and lots of different spices. And I just also want to say, guys, you know, when you're talking about herbs and spices, right, one of the best sort of schools of thought I've learned in the culinary world is how to use these spices. I always say that
true.
If ukapiwa rosemary akafanira pure inenga nogona kubita taishandisa yese mudish one, because ndenji zoti
how to use it
safe,
yes,
you know. And we've spoken about this before, I'm sure, in one of the recipes that we've shared on the group. So guys, if you're not on the WhatsApp group, jump on, hit me up, 0774410008. Just hit me up and I'll add you right in there. Join in on the conversation. We talk a lot about food, and we share all sorts of different stuff there too. And it's a great marketing platform for those who are, you know, sort of into food and trying to showcase what they're, you know, made about in the kitchen. So yeah, hit me up and we'll begin to chat on there. But yeah, rosemary and rutore tiri kuchiheb side ndodaupa futi mufananidzo orange rere ukatora ganda reorange rere and then you sort of like just tamper around with it or play around with it. You see it sprays that little bit of oil, oily sort of watery stuff, right? And this is the same thing you get in all of your herbs and some spices too. Okay, so most spices are dried, so you might not get that you know, sort of essential oils coming out of them, but you get this in your herbs. And you now need to know that that's what you must do when you're using herbs to sort of infuse into your dishes all the time. And what you do, so in the case of rosemary, for example, you're just going to take that sprig of fresh rosemary, right? And then you want to sort of rub it with the serrated side of a knife, okay? And then you just watch it sort of bruise away, right? Ichita tumavanga so and tumavanga tweto ndo tiri kuratidza kuti iri kuburitsa maoils aya uchada azopinda muchikafu chauri kubika. And you do that with most of your fresh herbs. So we're speaking about rosemary, we're speaking about thyme, we're speaking about dill, we're speaking about like all the stuff that you really want to sort of really knock some flavor into your cooking with herbs. So yeah, that's a little bit of some knowledge. I want to answer questions. I know we've got very little time left, but you know, this conversation can go on and on and on, because you know, you're ranging from which part of the spice, which part of the plant, with what flavor, meat dishes, vegetarian dishes, does it go sweet, does it go savory? But yeah, I'm open for questions, guys.
Right. We don't have a lot of questions, but we've got a lot of people wanting your number one more time. I think they want to hit you on a personal level, like how do I go, this and that. But we're going to repeat the number before we wrap it up. But I'm going to ask questions on your behalf.
Okay.
Right. Let's talk about 5 must-have spices in your kitchen, because I know you get in a kitchen like yours, or somebody who cooks a lot like me, you've got an array of spices, but there are those 5 must-haves because they cross-pollinate into different recipes. Can you give me your top 5 that you think one must have in the kitchen?
Okay, so my top 5 is obviously coriander,
okay.
Paprika, okay, some thyme, dried or fresh.
Okay.
So this could be a herb and a spice.
All right.
Rosemary, you can't miss out on that rosemary.
Very true.
And yeah, I think those are like the 4 that then make my fifth one a homemade spice, because
You
like
mix
I said,
everything.
you want to mix stuff
Uh-huh.
and sort of balance things out. And I spoke about that orange thyme salt, that you have an orange rind, you have some fresh thyme, and you have some salt. You mix it together and you have an awesome flavorful spicy finishing salt there.
Awesome. And then you've got, let me pick from the ones you mentioned.
Yeah.
You've got your rosemary. I know it's very good in fish dishes.
Yeah.
But what else can you use it in?
Okay, so rosemary is also good in chicken. Rosemary is also good in one of my favorite recipes is a chicken maple. It's a maple rosemary garlic thing that goes on your chicken, and gosh, it's amazing. Like, it's and it touches onto last week's topic, which is acid. So you want to first cold cook your chicken, and then it's like a maple, like a sweet element, like a rosemary, savory, and you've got that acidity to bring out that tanginess, and yeah, the garlic.
Let's talk
chicken
about
loves garlic.
what's it called? There's this one. I don't know if we should really call it a spice. That I don't like much because of how people use it. You get into a household where they've got a roiko. Let me put it out there. I think I need such a roiko beef. They'll use it in chicken. They'll use it in everything. Like chese jango's juguda spice. They put it there. Let's talk about those soups. How are those soups best used?
Look, those soups are actually quite magical.
They are, but it's how you use them.
How you use them,
Yes.
exactly. Because do you know Gutu Roiko is like a perfect marinade?
It
Like,
is, and they
it's-
can also make very amazing gravies.
Exactly.
Yes.
And most people just knock into their gravy kuti supi korea. Kuti soup ndokuti sadza. Saka kana kakakorera so neroiko zvacho. Nobva zvaenderana. But look, you want to use roiko in a more imaginative way, because you have to understand kuti zviri mukati, you know. It's more like dried vegetables, right? So if you want to make them come alive again, you can only imagine that they're useful to add that flavorful depth to like a paste that you want to use in a marinade. And I will share a recipe actually on that, a roiko marinade for some Easter cooking this weekend on the group. So yeah.
All right. So it all goes back to understanding how to use it, right? And let's talk about some herbs you can grow in your own kitchen. I know you can get a nice vase. I've got a rosemary in my house, and
Parsley.
rosemary always tastes nicer when it's fresh. You also have parsley.
Yeah.
What else can you grow in your kitchen?
So parsley grows nice on your windowsill, and it grows so easily. Coriander is the same. You can also get it in like most of your nurseries. So if you have a nice pot, up a windowsill pepper, water it every once or twice a week, and it's good to go. It stays green. It pretty much takes care of itself. I grow it organically myself, so I've seen that there's very little stress. Pests hardly attack it. Maybe it's also because of the setup of my garden, but in the kitchen you can only imagine there's very few pests and very little to worry about. So
True.
it grows with ease. So that's your rosemary as well, parsley and coriander. Those grow quite
Awesome.
nicely in pots on the windowsill.
Right, so I did say he's gonna share what's it called? We're gonna share the recipe. You're gonna share an Easter recipe in the group.
Yeah.
What's your phone number?
Okay, so my phone number, guys, 0774 410 008. You can also catch me on Instagram at the Chef Life of Shingi. It's my handle there, and I'm on Facebook too, guys, operating a business as the Outdoor Kitchen Chef. That stands for OK Chef ZW.
Right, Shingi, it's always a pleasure having you here.